Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Who Is Better. I am one of your hosts, Daniel, joined by my other two hosts.
It's Berman.
Hey, Chris.
So today I'm going to be the judge, and today we are going to be doing a Who Is Better between two specific wrestlers. So, Berman, who is your wrestler today?
I am going to be being Leo Rush, the high flyer from Impact in New Japan Pro Wrestling.
All right. And then, Chris, who's your wrestler you're representing?
Swerve Strickland from Lucha Underground, AEW, NXT, New Japan, and all of the above. Unlike his boy, who's like in two
He was never in
promotions.
New Japan.
He was in my thoughts.
Liar, liar, pants on fire.
Damn. Getting called out right here.
No. You just weren't there for it, dude. It was
No.
yesterday.
Well, let's dive in to the first category. The entrance and theme. So, Berman, what's your entrance and theme, and why is it better than Chris's entrance and theme?
Well, my theme is "I'll Be Me." This is the Impact theme song that he's using right now. This one I sound is probably the best theme song. Just the sound. It's pretty much talking about that everyone else wants him to be someone else that he does not want to be, and now he just wants to be himself. Be himself and be me. It sounds great. It has a good beat to it. It sounds like a great music compared to the Gimp, who is Swerve. Big Pressure. It just sounds dumb. It's just gangster rap. It doesn't make sense. It's just dumb gangster rap. I don't care about it. It doesn't sound good. People don't like it in this timeline and any other timeline. Everyone doesn't like that freaking type of music. Everyone who does, they are stupid. I'll Be Me sounds awesome. It sounds like it's talking to people who think that they need to be someone else. Is talking to everyone who thinks that they need to wear a mask to do be themselves. And if Chris doesn't want to freaking say it too, so I'm not gonna let him. That both of these people made their own music, including mainly Leo Rush. He did a whole song. He did this whole song by himself with no one else. So, and another nice thing too is that Leo Rush's all of his music. He has one song that is actually the theme song for New Japan Strong's pay per view. So that's all I'm gonna say.
Damn. I mean, those are all counterpoints. But let's be real here. I'll Be Me isn't very original. It's something like any other generic SoundCloud rapper could make. And if we're talking about comparison to what fans like and dislike, I'll Be Me only has 8,000 views, and that theme song has been long for how long, Bourbon?
Very recently.
For 8,000 compared to Big Pressure, which is standing at 155k views. So that alone tells you that no one's listening to I'll Be Me because it's fucking garbage compared to the overall better production on Big Pressure. And just due to the fact that I'll Be Me, it's just so generic and no one's talking about it and no one cares because Big Pressure is a lot more better. And if it appeals more to Swerve Strickland's characteristics of being the gangster type or whatever, I think it's a bit better. If you like I'll Be Me, then you might as well just listen to Drake, because that's how mid you are.
Well, for a nice counter argument is that one, I'll Be Me is actually one of his newest songs that came out this year, the same time he went to Impact, which is about, I don't know, maybe about a month ago. And his music has been out for about 2002, maybe 2001, maybe. So it's not a fair comparison if you want to do those two. So, and I say off the bat that Leo Rush music has better, I think, appeals to more people than people who are probably in the ghettos right now. So I think Leo Rush is way better sound, and I still say his type of air. He's just a better, what's it called, artist than Swerve is.
Dude, I don't know about you, man, but that cover art for the I'll Be Me looks so bad. It's just such a generic like arts piece. Like, sure, you have the New Japan logos, and the theme song might be good. I mean, if I was like 12 or 13 years old when I was first getting into rap, but dude, this shit is so generic. as hell. And yeah, it is a fair comparison because obviously this is new, and if it was as good as you're saying, this would be more than 8,000 views. Like, are you kidding me, Vermin? Come on,
It's 8,000. It's 88,000.
88,000 compared to, I'm sorry, how many? 155K for Big Pressure.
Well, to me, I say it doesn't matter about views. It matters about how good that song is and what does the song say. What's the song mean? What does it mean to the character? Does does the character represent that song in it? And I would say yes, 100% with Leo Rush. Uh, for Swerve, no, he should have a Gimp song, not a gangster song.
But it goes hard.
All right, I think it's time I interject. Um, it will definitely. I don't even know if I could say make great points. I feel like both songs were just bashed by the other, but that's kind of the point of this series. So hey, good job on both parts here. Um, what I will say is I kind of get the critiques for both songs in a sense where this might sound offensive. Both sound kind of cheap in production overall. I mean, Leo Rush kind of has like this little rap rock instrumental going, which is kind of like the modern wave right now in terms of the SoundCloud rap scene in general. So it is kind of a funny comparison right there. But then we go over to Swerve Strickland, and yeah, his song is less than 2 minutes, and overall, it does feel like it's unfinished. And I can see how the lyrical content can also be quite repetitive. So I think there are definitely critiques to apply to both tracks here for sure in terms of entrance themes. But are they necessarily bad entrance themes? No, they're not. But which one do I prefer? For this first point here, I'm going to go for Swerve Strickland. So, 0 to 1, I mean. Now, next category. The finisher. So, Berman, what's your finisher and why is it better than Chris's finisher?
Leo Rush's finisher is the final hour, which is the frog splash. And I would say this is way better than the stomp because the frog splash, yes, many people use the frog splash, but what Leo Rush does in different is that he does a very he does it very similar to RVD, where when he hits a frog splash, it looks like he is injured. He hits him. He looks like he gets injured when he gets that frog splash. When Leo Rush hits his frog splash, it makes him jump. Like it looks like he's in pain when he gets hit by that, meaning that he puts all that force onto an opponent. I think that's just so good to have. And he has some air. He gets a very good air in that. He goes super, super high up in the air to get that. And he does it better than a lot of people using Frog Splash in today's date. He does it so better than anyone, I think. In the stomp, like yes, people use a stomp a good amount of times. Finn Balor, one of the best who does stomps. Swerve stomp, and another thing is that Swerve stomp doesn't even hit. It looks like a meteora. Every time I've seen it, it doesn't look good. And the only one that looked really good was when he hit it against Keith Lee on freaking concrete, the concrete block. Every other move, it looks like he just passes straight through. It doesn't look like a stomp. It looks like a meteor or like a senton or a conceited senton. It doesn't look like a stomp. I have that biggest critique right there. It does not look like a stomp. It looks like a seated senton or a freaking meteor. It doesn't look like a stomp. It's very stupid. They need to change that finish or something else. They should have done it the KLR driver, which is a better finisher than freaking stomp than anything like this.
All right. So I'll give you the benefit of the doubt that the swerve stop isn't the most creative thing in the world, but I think the way he delivers it is just absolutely brutal because most of the time when he does hit the finishers, it's always from the top ropes or from like a very high elevated place. I can believe that to be a better finisher than simply just a frog splash, just for the fact that he resources it to mainly showcase his characteristics of being like a bad dude. and it always makes sense because he always uses situational awareness. However, when it comes to the final hour, again, it's just a frog splash. 1,000 different wrestlers use it, and to be quite honest, I'm not impressed by it one bit. There's so many different guys that can use that frog splash for many other situations. So for Leo Rush, if that's what I'll Be Me is, then it's pretty mid in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know. It's the final hour has it. The thing is that it's just way better. I say I've bet you've seen so many people do a frog splash, even Seth Rollins, but Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio. Like there's many names I can pick right now from the top of my head. But Leo Rush does it the best out of a lot of those people because of how he gets one, his air. I said this before, he gets so much air on this freaking thing. Two, his impact. When he lands, it has so much impact. And two, he sells it like what RVD does when he gets injured. It looks like he gets injured when he gets frog splash. It's the same thing Leo Rush does. It just shows how good his impact is with that final hour. It does it very well, and it looks like something that Leo Rush would do at the same time. So Leo Rush, I would say, still has that better finisher.
Listen, man, there is going to be no impact because Leo Rush literally is built like a pre-built Captain America. He's skinny as shit. That's not going to hurt anybody. It's just exactly like the same debate we had before with Darby Allin being the size of a Mountain Dew bottle. So even if that was his finisher, yeah, he can go as high as he wants, but it's not going to do shit compared to most dudes being taller than him and bigger than him. And at least with the swerve stomp, it's somewhat believable because it's a stomp to the head. No matter how you go about it, it's just going to hit harder. So my finisher's better.
All right. Now, you both bring up some solid points, but I'd like to say points for each of them. Now, I'm going to defend Leo here for having his finisher be a frog splash. And I will say this, a frog splash is always a believable way to end the match if you genuinely think about it. And it doesn't matter how many people hit the move, it matters how well you can hit that move. And admittedly, I'd say Leo Rush definitely has one of the better frog splashes out there. Personally, my absolute favorite frog splash at the moment, not of all time, but at the moment, would have to go to Montez Ford. But Leo Rush hits a pretty damn great frog splash. There's nothing to take away from it. Now, Swerve. Berman definitely makes an interesting point about how his finisher won't always hit, but Chris also makes a good counterpoint of how it's a double stomp to the face, that like it's going to be brutal no matter what. But if I'm overall looking at a finisher that I just believe is overall better, it makes more sense. I'd rather take the move that will always connect over the move that will connect maybe most of the time, but not always. So I'm going to give the point to Leo Rush here. 1-1. Now, let's move on to number 3. The overall move set. Now, you guys can start it off. Berman, take it away.
All right. To me, I think Leo Rush has the best moveset because of he's using his height in the way where like Rey Mysterio uses it too. Leo Rush uses his height to do different moves, like his signature, the Rush Hour, which is a bottom rope stunner. You don't see a lot of people doing that because Leo Rush is smaller, so he does it a shorter way to get a better impact, and it has a very good impact when you see it too. A lot of other moves he does are like a knee. He kicks the legs out and then goes for a good kick exeguri to the back of the head or super kick right in the bottom. He always does that so he can make himself higher than each other. It shows that he's using his height to his advantage, and it shows for a lot of different moves he does too. His kicks, his springboards, he always does. His super kicks, a lot of different moves. He always uses his height to adjust it so he can even hit someone, even though the person or he dodged it or something. He still connects with it. There's been a lot of moments where Leo Rush misses it but still catches it because he's so small. He goes maybe under someone's legs and hits something on the back of the head or something else. It shows that he can use his height disadvantage to his maximum level. That's why I feel like his moveset fits him so well.
And I'm agreeing with you too, because I think these guys are both familiar with how they go about the movesets, but I'd like to give Strickland a little bit more of an edge just due to the fact besides his high flyers, like sure he has his like 450s, and then of course he has his like dives, his suicide dives or whatever. But outside of that too, he's also pretty strong. He also relies on like German suplexes. He even goes for like running corners, kind of like what Sting does with his splashes. He has his bicycle, or I'm sorry, his bicycle kicks. I think that's what he calls them, or he used to call them, or something like that. And just overall, I think it's more of a preference of whether you just have strictly high flying with Leo Rush, or you have a little bit more diversity with Swerve Strickland. So I think Swerve has the better moveset, just just slightly, just because he does a little bit more that I don't think Leo Rush is capable of doing.
Okay.
Well, I want to
Oh,
bring one point up really quickly. He actually does do some power moves like fisherman carry drivers and Michinoku drivers and like spinning fisherman busters. He does do slams. That's just he does that against like bigger opponents. He does that against opponents that he's been along in a long match with, like kind of like worst case scenario. He's just going to use it. So he does use slams, finishers, drivers, just in occasion. So that's why I say right quicker.
But just for the occasion isn't just quite it. That's what compares an amateur to a superstar because Swerve, no matter the size of the opponent, he'll get the job done and doesn't have to necessarily rely on it just for a last scenario. That's just part of his moveset because of how strong he is and how diverse his moves are more of Leo Rush. And if anything, dude, Leo Rush is a copycat of Swerve.
Hell to the fucking no. He is not a freaking copycat whatsoever freaking ever. I don't know what you see as a copycat. He doesn't use a stomp. There's nothing that Swerve does that Leo Rush does right now.
He's
I've
just
not seen anything except a super kick. That's the only thing he does. There's nothing else that Leo Rush and Swerve Strickland have in common except maybe them having music. Them both have music and something else. But like, there's no moveset that Leo Rush does that Swerve does the exact same way. There's nothing. So there's no way you can freaking say a copycat.
I would say copycat more of the kind of style how they're both going with. It's just they're both athletic, obviously, and they're like light flyers. But again, Swerve Strickland's always going to have that edge because besides the high flyer moves, he also has his down to earth stuff, which he doesn't have to rely solely just for a last minute thing. He can just hit it whenever he wants, no matter the opponent. So I gotta give it to Swerve, man.
But again, he does not. It's not a copycat. Even if like Leo Rush uses his height to do his moves differently. Like his stunner that I told you before uses the bottom rope. You don't see many people use a bottom rope. Rey Mysterio, yes, but no one else. I don't see that much use a bottom rope stunner, and or other ways that use like bottom rope or something that can use his height. There's not a lot of people. Even Swerve doesn't even do that crap. So that's why I say moveset is better. Leo Rush.
Listen, man, if we're comparing heights, Little Rush is 5'6" and Swerve Strickland is 6'1". That isn't much, man. That's not gonna hurt anybody. Me and Leo are like basically the same size, so it ain't gonna do nothing to nobody.
Do you want to get hit by Leo Rush?
I can think I could take it. We're like the
No, you
same
can't.
size. I could take it, but if Swerve Strickland hits me with a fucking
No,
hit
you
stomp,
can't.
I'm gonna die because he's the fucking same size as Daniel. That's a real superstar, not a Batlet.
Leo Rush can kick you in the head and get knocked out for a week. Dude.
Bro, I could dodge it. We're like the same size.
No, you're not going to dodge because
I
that's how
could
Leo Rush.
I could dodge
Leo
it.
Rush is faster than you
Bro, they call Leo Rush, but I'm getting the fuck out of there because I'm faster than this man.
because you're scared of him.
Yeah, yeah, no shit. Look, he's on fucking roids.
So you're probably not going to be scared if Swerve Strickland comes in with a gimp outfit.
Listen, man, me and Swerve will be all right. We'll just listen to some Kanye or some fucking Yeet, and we'll have a good time. Point being,
now,
my moveset's better. Thank you.
all right. Now, all right. Let's end this. Let's end this portion. Jesus Christ. Now, what I'll say is that All right. I think if we're talking about who is more athletic, I think Leo definitely has that advantage for sure. But when I think about who has more stiff offense, more legitimate offense overall, I'm probably going to give the point to Swerve Strickland. So, Swerve 2, Leo 1. Next should be a very interesting category, the mic skills. Now, Berman, what makes you believe Leo Rush is better than Swerve in this department?
I think his mic skills are way better because most of the mic skills that you've been seeing in WWE when he was the manager of Bobby Lashley, you see that his mic skills shown not the best way because he was showing as like a weird, stupid manager hype man. Not, I didn't like that, but when he was in like New Japan right now, or when he was in the Impact right now, he shows that his mic skills showing that he's cocky, that he is better than everyone, and it shows when he talks too that he has a very mean attitude. And funny enough, that his moniker in New Japan is the sorry, sorry, the Mad Child, which is that he's just really angry all the time, and shows that in a bunch of matches where he really does care about your opponent. His mic skills show that he just cares, that he just wants to diss the opponent to its absolute limit, I would say. So that's why I say Leo Rush is the better mic skills than Swerve Strickland.
And I personally think Swerve Strickland just has the better mic skill, just because the overall of his overall. It's just like, dude, he's just good talking in the mic. He's just charismatic as he comes. And funny enough, I have a direct quote from Leo Rush that I just pulled from this interview right now from 2018, where he states the following: "No, I didn't see myself as a mic guy. That's probably the last thing I saw myself. Comma, I probably saw myself as a referee. So just like a referee, there's nothing to add. And let's be real here. Does anyone actually talk about Leo Rush's promo skills? Like, is there actually a video that you can reference where it's like, oh man, I gotta watch Leo Rush? Like, sure, he's a good fighter, but with Swerve, he's always constantly training on Twitter for his quirks and whatnot, and just how he goes about himself. Unlike Leo Rush, where I barely hear anything. I mean, what was the last major thing he did? Impact? No one saw that shit. That only had like 1,000 views, and maybe like 500 people like bought the tickets to see that garbage. I don't think so. Just give my guy the point, Daniel, and that's it.
Well, again, it's like one of the other major things he did that Swerve Strickland has nothing to is that he won the junior tag league, means that he won for the tag titles. He didn't win, but he still won it, and Swerve Strickland has nothing on that. And two, he does have a mic that I can not quote, but I can recommend that people watch, would be when he was in NXT facing against Garza. He went for the title. He was a NXT champion and NXT Cruiserweight title champion, and he shows that he is dedicated to a lot of things, and it shows that, and kind of showed it. That time was kind of his kind of face run where he was being happy, go lucky. He has his wife next to him, and he won a championship next to his wife, and he was saying a lot of things, saying that this was for my family, this was for the NXT people deserving a better champion. That's, I would say, a better mic skills to adapt.
I don't know, man. If he was all good and the mic skills, why would NXT release him and AEW release him? Obviously, he wasn't good enough to be in either company, and it's only a matter of time until he gets released from Impact and he's solely on New Japan. Because unlike Swerve, no matter where he goes, he's always going to have that mic skill upper hand and his wrestling style. So, point taken, Bourbon. No one wants him. I don't want him. I win.
Don't need to say anything else.
Please, speechless. I win.
All right.
I don't need anything else to say.
Now, I will say this. Sure, Leo doesn't really have that iconic moment on the mic, but if we're being realistic here, neither does Swerve Strickland. Now, that's not to say either guy is bad on the mic. I think they're both actually good. And I will say this. Swerve has more charisma within his character and his characteristics But in terms of like actually speaking into a mic and cutting a promo, I'm going to give the slight advantage to Leo Rush.
You bastard.
Swerve 2, Leo 2. Next category. Category number 5. Who is the better face? I'm going to let Chris start off this time.
I mean, honestly, I can't really give much to the face. I'm just gonna have to just be honest and give it to Leo Rush because, like, sure, he was like a face briefly with Keith Lee as his little tag team division, but I don't see him as a face, more of an anti-hero. So I can't really say much for Swerve Strickland on this case.
Well, I say I win.
Yeah.
It's still Leo Rush's gonna win. Leo Rush is better as face because he has been in a lot of different face routines.
Now, yeah, I will say this. It's an automatic 2-0 vote here for Leo. But I will say this. I think Swerve is actually a decent face. Not a great face or anything, but he can do the job if you need him to. But, yeah, he definitely doesn't shine the most as a face.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Leo Rush can get this point for sure. So, Swerve 2, Leo 3. Category number 6. Who is the better heel? Leo versus Swerve. All right, Berman. Why is Leo a better heel?
I would say that he's a better heel because I just not have best. There's a lot of examples that I can do mainly from like New Japan and Impact, where in Impact he was just sneaky attacking. What's this guy's name? The former X Division champion. He was and he said that I can beat you on any day, any time you want, and technically he did very quickly. But he's just and in New Japan where the main thing about him in New Japan that he was what he would call the mad child version of Leo Rush, meaning that he was very brutal, he was very aggressive, and it shows in a bunch of things that he was not to me he was more like an anti-hero where people really liked him, but he was very acting like a heel most of the time, or acting very aggressively to everyone. Didn't really care, and to me, that's why it kind of shows to me that heel is way better, and Leo Rush has this better edge to him that shows. And it attests to Swerve Strickland being very. I don't know what his type of character is. There's no. He's very stupid, and again, I say this again. He just every time he walks out, he looks like a dominatrix skip coming out with a freaking leather cap on. It doesn't make sense for a freaking. What does it supposed to? What is that type of thing on his freaking head? There's nothing to it. It looks so stupid. There's nothing to show. I have no idea why he's dressing up like a gimp. There's no reason why. It's very stupid as a heel, and I feel like Good Rush has a better heel.
I'll agree to disagree. Sir Swerve Strickland's like outfit is stupid, but we're not gonna deduct a point just because his outfit does look like impyish. And you need to stop shaming people because they're into that shit, Berman. We're
I'm not
supposed to.
shaming anyone.
It sounds like you
I'm
are,
not
man.
shaming anyone. I'm shaming him because he doesn't fit. His character does not fit a gimp.
Bro,
A fit freaking character.
his character literally screams like head macho. He literally has his own empathy. Sure, it didn't start off great, but hey, he at least recorded AR Fox now, so that's even better. So hopefully the group actually goes somewhere from here. But as for his heel tendencies, I mean, dude, that's literally all Swerve right there. There's so many countless times back at NXT where he was constantly cheating, also doing like Keith Lee dirty in AEW, and also his whole damn time as kill shot for Lucha Underground. Again, another heelish tendency. The man was built for it. He has awesome personality no matter where he goes. That's all I can say. Swerve is the better heel.
I have nothing else to say. I said my point already.
Okay. No, I won't say Leo is a bad heel, but in comparison to Swerve Strickland, I feel like Swerve is willing to go to darker routes and farther lengths to get personal with people and go at people. Like, for example, when he basically, had pliers to Daddy Ass's nuts and, basically kidnapped and did that to Daddy Ass, that really messed up the mental state of the Acclaimed heading into the title match. And, it even made his tag partner, Keith Lee, go like, man, what the fuck? And you could go to his North American title reign in NXT and other examples. He is a damn good heel. So I feel like this is kind of a easy pick for me. I'm gonna give it to Swerve Strickland. So 3 Swerve, Leo 3. So the tiebreaker in the final round is the best match. So first, Chris, what is your best match? Then Berman, what is your best match? And why are your matches better than the others?
Well, my match pick is definitely him, Killshot versus Fox or whatever he named himself during Lucha Underground for the Extreme Rules
Chris,
match. What's up? Well,
you're supposed to say your best match.
no, I am. I did.
Uh,
Sorry.
you cut out.
Oh, again, his best match is himself as Killshot versus AR for Lucha Underground and Extreme
Air
Rules.
Fox.
Whatever he called himself during that time. Point being, it's the definition of an era gone too far. It was literally peak Lucha Underground, and it's the definition of luchador done perfection. Just because there were so many insane spots, including not limited to Swerve throwing his opponent through a glass furniture and also putting him in a stretcher because that was the gimmick for the match to kind of put them in the ambulance. And time again, people refer to this as literally the last best thing a luchador has ever done as for the past times and for this awesome company. So again, I think it's a lot more better than whatever Leo Rush has to offer in New Japan. Because sure, he may have good matches, but it's Leo Rush. Is anyone really talking about Leo Rush nowadays? Come on. Let's be real here. Who cares about Leo Rush? Nobody. Zero. De nada. Whatever the fuck that is in Spanish.
It's whatever that means. So
See.
for me, Leo Rush is the match that happened recently was Leo Rush versus Mike Bailey and the Super Juniors, Best of Super Juniors 2023. It was the ninth week or ninth day. This was a very great match to me, and I think this shows how good Leo Rush can be in a against a good opponent, and versus Mike Bailey, one of the best junior heavyweights in the sport, except to Will Ospreay. But Mike Bailey is right up there. This was a great match between these two, and Leo Rush just shows that he has it. It did look like in this match, Leo Rush was particularly making his idea where he just runs away, tries to get a good advantage on Mike Bailey, and it kind of being like a snake in the grass, pretty much waiting for a good opportunity to strike. And he did a good amount of times doing different types of kicks and doing like the rush hour finisher rush hour signature that you did stunner. But it was a very great finish with all things happening, and I think to me they had the best match of the Super Juniors, and this shows that Leo Rush can do a lot of high flying, be a lot aggressively, and I think it just shows how good Leo Rush is in a good amount in matches in general. So that's why I say Leo Rush is great. It was a better match.
All right. Now, you both gave pretty good matches here. Chris's match is definitely a hardcore match, and you could feel the hate between Killshot and Dante Fox in that match. But you go to the best of the Super Junior match between Leo Rush and Mike Bailey. Yeah, is arguably one of, if not the best of the Super Junior match that happened this year. So, yeah, matches are pretty damn good. But only one can win here. And the person that is better is Swerve Strickland with Killshot versus Dante Fox.
Let's
So
go!
that's all that I need to say on that one. Um, yeah. Any final thoughts? I guess I could ask.
You Gimp won.
Oh, it was a fun video, wasn't it, Bourbon?
It was tense.
Oh,
It was tense. That's a good way to describe it. Well, we'll end it off here, folks. If you enjoyed this Who Is Better, please leave a like and all of that. Oh dear. Thank you all so much for watching. I've been Daniel,
I've been Berman.
I'm in Chris.
and we'll see you all in the next one. Take it easy.